Hey y'all, welcome to Life with the Lindseys. My name is Heather.
And what's up, yo? This your boy Cornelius.
Yes, I'm so excited you landed on our podcast and your life is pretty much going to be changed.
Yes, man. If you're looking for something real, relevant, and authentic, then you landed on the right place. Hey, here's the thing. We about to get going right now. So y'all tune in, buckle up, sit back, get ready for the show. Here we go.
What up, everybody?
Hey, y'all. So we got a little cut off last week.
Because our kids were FaceTiming us because they wanted to go to Dave & Buster's.
And
at Dave & Buster's.
So they called me first because they always call me first.
Because they have an expectation. Well, oh, this is good. So we got cut off last time. We're talking about expectations. Figure we'll continue some of this conversation with y'all. But they have an expectation when they call their mom.
That I'll always say yes.
And usually?
I always say yes.
Yeah, and I don't. So he knew the oldest one knew the right one to call.
Yeah, he called and he said, how much can I have for Dave & Buster's? And I was just like, 100. Like 100 each kid.
You must be girl. My mom would give me $20. So that was a lot.
So
no,
our precious mom, mother-in-law, she said $100 each.
That's she right.
So for me, I feel like they worked so hard this summer or this school year. They transitioned from a new state. They made all these amazing friends. Taylor's on the principal's list. Logan's on the honors list. They got all these awards. Why don't we just bless them?
They've been blessed. They got shooting guns. They got Play-Doh.
No, not shooting guns. We got to preface that.
What is that?
The Nerf guns. The Nerf.
They got
water guns. Yeah.
Water guns. All that kind of stuff. They got Play-Doh. They got cars. And Roman is being rewarded, and he didn't go to school. Remember that. Now, let's remember the youngest one vetoed school, so he didn't go.
Yeah,
he starts this year, but let's remember he's
actually very prophetic. He's told me he wasn't going to go to school, and I told him that he was.
He didn't go a day,
and then turns out we had a couple of issues with the school, and he couldn't go, so we homeschooled him this year.
Yeah, so let's make that clear. He's been rewarded for nothing.
Well, isn't that like God's grace? Like He'll reward us, and we don't deserve it.
I mean, hey, you got me there. I can't say.
So our kids have an expectation that as long as one parent says yes, then both parents say yes.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
And so they always ask me first.
They'll ask you in private and in secret and in silence so that you can say yes and I won't never know about it. So I won't ever question it.
Right.
Then when it happens, I'll be like, oh yeah, I went to Dave & Buster's, and he's like, yeah, we had a good time.
And that's it.
Yeah, he won't be like, oh, but mom let us spend $100 each.
Oh no, they would never tell you.
He would never tell me that. Now Taylor would spill the beans. She'd be laying down next to me and was like, yes, we went to Dave & Buster's. And we had $100 on my card. And I'm like, $100? Who told you that? Oh,
but I do give them $75 each on a card, baby.
When we go to Dave & Buster's?
Every time we go, should I call him? Can I call him back and tell him 70?
No, absolutely not. No.
So I have an expectation when I became a parent that like, I think, and I'll say this, we talked about this a lot last week, not dealing with your childhood trauma and how it affects you. And I feel like because I had womb trauma, and although I got adopted into an amazing family, I still feel like I want to go over and above to make sure that my children, and even you, never feel rejected. Like if you recall, I think it took me 10 years to tell you that I'm cool with space from you. Remember that?
Tell me that? And I was like, what? You want space from me?
I was like, heck yeah, I've been needed space from you, right? But
you never voiced it.
I couldn't voice it because I didn't want you to feel rejected or abandoned from me.
Dang.
So with the children, it's this thing in you. And again, it goes back to, and I'm working through, trust me, y'all, I'm working through my trauma, my childhood stuff on a regular basis with my therapist, with our therapist, with books and stuff. But having womb trauma, it does affect you with parenting because it's like you want to do what you feel like you didn't have as a child. You wanted to love them in that way. And also, I also took kind of my mom's example. My mom was amazing. So not only am I going into it with a mindset of I want to serve, our children, but also my mom loved me so well. I'm taking that into it too.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. And again, I came from the opposite end of the spectrum where, it's like, I don't know, you grow up in, I don't know if it's just a Southern Black community. I don't know if it's just the community, and also, my childhood as well is different.
It's so different.
So I didn't have this expectation of give my kids everything they want.
What was your expectation in parenting?
I just wanted my kid. My biggest expectation was, or I would say my biggest thing in general was I needed to be present and I needed to be active. Those are my
That's
two
good.
biggest things, present
baby.
and active. I just wanted them always to know I'm present. So, as much as I complained about the kids always having a play or always having a show or always having this, and
Yeah.
it just seemed like the school year, they always had something.
All year.
I just wanted to be present. And even when it came down to field trips, and they would come and say, okay.
I didn't go on one, if you noticed, the
didn't?
whole year. No.
I know.
You went on all of them. I just signed you up.
But then I was like, I'd be like, okay, I clear my whole day.
You clear your whole
Because
day
I'm
for
just
it.
like, I'll go. And it turns out,
Wow.
I'm glad I went
Wow.
because, as much as I wish I could have done other things that day, I'm with my kids. And it was, seeing Taylor's face light up when her daddy was there with her, or seeing Logan's face when, Logan didn't have to wonder whose car is he going to ride in.
Yeah.
Because he was like, oh, I'm riding with my dad. And when he got in the car, he was able to plug his phone up in the back and, sit back there on his phone. And
You just give him security.
yeah, he
and
knew
acceptance.
that. And then when his friend got in the car, because his friend rode with him in the last field trip, and his friend got in the car, Logan was like, yeah, he was like, here's a charger cord. They just plug up your phone right there. And he's like, hey, you can push your seat up and you can lean your seat back. And, I was just kind of driving. Like I felt like a chauffeur at that time, but I was driving. I was like, you know what? I'm present. I'm here.
Yeah.
And I'm active. And I'm walking around with him. And Logan's like, Dad, you see this? And let's take a picture. And so that was my biggest thing about being a parent. I just wanted to be present and I wanted to be active. Now, giving them everything they wanted, I have nothing inside of me that says I want to do that.
I want to give them everything.
Or making sure they're happy.
So that was an expectation I had, is like, I want to make sure my kids are happy. Now, don't get me wrong. Like, I do believe in discipline and telling them no at times. Like, oh, you crazy? No, we're not doing that. I do believe in having them do their chores. Like, at night we have them do your chores and stuff. But I guess I want to give them everything that I guess I felt like I didn't have.
Yeah.
And if you're coming from a big family, I had 24 sisters and brothers, right? So although me and my mom were close, it's just that attention, that one-on-one, like I'm outside with them. We're playing together, or I'm doing makeup with Taylor, or I'm in there watching Logan play his game. Those are things my mom could never do because
There was so many of y'all.
there's too many of us, right?
Yeah.
So again, just like showing up and being there is good.
Yeah. And I didn't have that too much. And my mom really couldn't be there because she was so busy.
Yeah.
She was so busy. I mean, I only have an older sister, but my mom was so busy because she had a full-time job. She cleaned up this other place. And it was like every day she had to go do something else because she was trying to make money.
Did you have an expectation that I would also be too busy?
No.
Okay.
No, not at all. I didn't like see you as my mom or anything like that. Because let's be honest, you're like my mom in some ways, but in a lot of ways, you and my mom are kind of different.
It's funny. So
typically they say, you marry somebody who's like your mom, and then you marry somebody who's like your dad. But I mean, you always say that I was like your dad, but.
So me and your mom, it's funny, we've never gotten to like conflict or argument or anything like that. Like,
which is so great. Thank you,
so
Jesus.
amazing. Like,
I've never had to choose sides between y'all.
She's a dream.
Even though there would not be choosing because wife always wins.
Right. But she's just amazing. She's a phenomenal woman. She's strong, but I feel like she gets me because she's like this. She's on it.
She is. She's a 1
And
on the Enneagram scale.
And I'm a 1 on the Enneagram scale. And we're always thinking forward. We're always thinking what we can make better. We're a good team, I feel like.
Right.
So I feel like we partner well together. But
yeah. And I didn't, so she was always busy. So I didn't have an expectation that, that she was going to be able to play video games with me. I always played by myself. And I didn't really grow up with friends. So I didn't really have a lot of friends to, grow up playing with. So
our kids want to play with us nonstop.
They want to play with us nonstop.
Plus
they have friends.
Plus they have each other. I'd be like, we're here. Like I literally, and I told the kids recently, I'm like, y'all, I'm turning down like speaking engagements. I've not been traveling, and I had to remind them because I went on a mommy trip like a couple weeks ago and they were all like, why are you going? Taylor was like, Mom, you need to go. You need this. You deserve this.
Taylor's very, very,
she's real chill, right?
Yeah.
With that. But Logan's like, why? You don't need to go. You need to be here at the house with me.
That boy.
And I'm just like, Logan, I'm with you guys all the time.
All the time.
Like, it's good. It's healthy to take breaks. It's healthy to pull away. So
yeah. And
I had to adjust his expectations.
And speaking of healthy and being able to pull away, therapy, thank God for our sponsor, BetterHelp.
Yes.
When you are feeling burnout, when you're trying to manage your own expectations and you're trying to manage the expectations of everybody else around you, when you got parenting, and let's be honest with our world we live in today, we still have a war that's going on, between Russia and Ukraine. We have Supreme Court decisions. We have crime rates that are up, but people are just going absolutely nuts. We got gas prices going crazy. All that to say, it's a lot of things going on around us, and you may not know exactly how they are affecting you. That's the reason why you need to have people in your life who can be able to help you to articulate the pain that you're experiencing. That's why having a professional licensed therapist is so important. And you don't have to go to an office. You can make sure that you can talk to them over web or whatever it may be, but BetterHelp provides that for you.
Yes, BetterHelp is customized online therapy, y'all. They offer video, chat, texting, any of that good stuff live with your therapist. So if you don't want to see anybody on camera, you don't have to. It's more affordable than in-person therapy, and you can get matched with a therapist in less than 48 hours, which is so cool. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Lindseys. That's betterhelp, HELP.com/Lindseys.
Yeah. So not better health, y'all. It's better help. BetterHelp, HELP.com/Lindseys. Lindseys, LINDSEYS.
Expectations.
Yeah. But I mean, I guess we can talk about expectations among friends.
Yeah. Well, actually, I had an idea pop up in my head. Can we do that last? Marriage. I'm going to talk real quick about marriage.
Jeez.
Expectations. I had an expectation that you were going to give me flowers a lot.
So where is this conversation going?
I don't get a lot of flowers.
Yeah, you don't get a lot of flowers. Because in my head, I assume that I think that getting flowers is worthless. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not being indifferent about it. But in my head, that's what I assume.
But flowers mean that you thought of me.
And I heard that from Brene Brown, who I absolutely love. I guess it'd be good for me to say, just being honest, I feel like a lot of times you will hear the expectations of somebody else, but your own selfishness or your own point of view will cloud the way of how that person feels loved. And I think that being able to hear you say, like, this is something that I expect is very healthy, because a lot of times in relationships, we fail to communicate what it is that we expect. And then we get frustrated and then we get disappointed, because now I'm disappointed in you and you don't realize that the disappointment came from the expectation.
Yeah.
It's something interesting. And this happened multiple times in our marriage where it's like, I'm disappointed in you because I had something, I was expecting something.
Yeah.
And I didn't get it. But I couldn't blame you for it because I never told you.
Yeah.
And I think that was the greatest revelation I had when it came to my relationship with my father. I think I was telling you about that. When my dad, I was so disappointed, so frustrated with him from a kid, because I'm like, why weren't you at my games? I guess you were at home, you were present. But why weren't you at my games? Why were you at my worship? Why weren't you at these things? And I'll never forget being like, you know what? I never asked him to be.
Yeah.
I would always tell my mom, and my expectation was that my mom would tell my dad. And then I became a father. And when Logan would say something to you, and I'm like, why didn't he tell me? I don't know. I told mom. I'm like, but I'm not your mama. You should tell me. And I'm like, it dawned on me, like, I did the same exact thing to my dad.
Wow.
And this is how it feels. Why would he want to come to an award show that he knew nothing about, because he didn't even feel valued by me, his own son, to invite him? Because I assumed in my head, well, I'm not going to invite him, just invite my mom, and he's probably not going to show up.
And you don't want to get hurt.
I don't want to get hurt. So I go through this cycle, And then I get upset, I get frustrated, but I never invited him. And I never told him how much it meant for me for him to be there. So I just went years of being frustrated and hurt and disappointment and disappointed and never even shared my expectation with him.
Wow.
Just expected for him to be like, oh.
What expectations do you have now of your father?
I don't really have any expectations of my father now.
Do you think it's healthy to have expectations?
I think if you are healthy and you know how to manage those expectations, but I don't feel like, I don't have any expectations of him because I'm grown now. I'm grown now. I don't, it's not like I'm the little kid anymore who's like looking for this or that. I'm just like, I'm grown now.
You skirted right past my flowers though. We never finished that conversation.
What you want me to say? Hell, I already said it may be because of my own self. I understand what.
Oh,
so
you
what
did.
Was the point?
Oh, you did.
What was the?
I missed
point
that
you want
part.
me to make? What is it? What's the expectation here? Reality check.
Reality check.
We going with it?
When you go to Whole Foods, you can stop at the flowers right at the beginning on the left.
Flowers, and it's so many times I've thought I can get her some flowers, and I look at them flowers, and I'm like, they're going to die,
baby,
in 3 days.
But it's the thought of it.
Okay, I hear you. I heard you.
And every time I walk by the flowers, it's going to make me so happy. It's like the Christmas tree. Whenever I put the Christmas tree up every year, I get so excited.
I have no expectations about holidays.
But hold on. Why don't you have expectations about holidays? Because you were disappointed as a child.
Not all the time. I just don't. I don't care anything about holidays. So when it comes
who don't like Christmas? You got trauma. You go get healed.
That's an inside joke.
Inside joke.
But
you don't like Christmas.
I know. Yeah, I don't care about Christmas or
because you don't have
Easter.
You don't have amazing memories.
I have memories. My memories where my mom woke up. She cooked a huge meal.
His mama can throw down.
I mean, but back then she really threw down. Like the kitchen, the whole kitchen would be full of food, and then the dining room was also full of food. There was one section just for pies and cakes.
So she's sleeping. We need to have her cook a little bit more.
My mom cooked like crazy, but she started the afternoon before. She would go throughout the night, maybe sleep for 2 or 3 hours, wake back up early in the morning, finish all the food, and be done. So by the time
stressful.
11 o'clock came, but you were there. You saw it.
I saw it. Yeah, she can throw down, y'all. She's amazing.
So I saw that, but then also growing up as a kid, I would get my toys and I'd be like, "That's it." Because I'm just like, well, this ain't fun no more. So I just never had an expectation like, oh, this is going to be the most amazing day. I just feel like the day is created for us to just have an emotional letdown.
Wow.
Because it just ends. And it's like, oh, I got a present. Duh, I was going to get it. That's what I asked for. And it's like,
emotional
play with
letdown. Aw.
That's how you don't feel that way?
No, it's exciting.
What's exciting?
What's
What's
you're
exciting
opening up presents that are surprising you.
You're surprising nobody.
Babe.
And well, what?
When you think about thoughtful gifts for me and you go and you buy them and you get it wrapped and I don't know what it is, I would rather not know what the gift is. I don't want you to be like, what do you want for Christmas? I want you to think about like, you know me. So I have an expectation that he's going to surprise me. But hold on. I had an expectation. I don't have that expectation anymore because now he'd be like, I done got you stuff. But I will say for Christmas this past year, you went to Farm Rio, which is one of my favorite spots. And you bought me all these dresses and all these skirts. And it was the sweetest. And it was so thoughtful.
Yeah. I feel like it's like that part is cool.
Because it was a surprise. It was fun.
Yeah, but for me, it's like it only lasts for like a few seconds.
But baby, why can't you just enjoy that moment and be in that moment?
That's one thing I'm going to therapy for. I don't know how to enjoy moments.
Yeah.
I don't know how to be in that moment because I'm opening up a gift and I'm like, oh, this is dope. Like, thank you for thinking of me. Then in my head, I'm thinking, man, like, this money could have probably been used for something else. Or we probably could have done this with that. Or I really need this. I probably don't even need this. Like I have so much cologne or I have this or I have that.
No, he made me return a pair of Christian Louboutins I got for him one Christmas.
That's accurate.
And I'm like, babe, he's like, no, you just use that money for something. I'm like,
just use it for yourself. Like you go buy you something nice. Like I don't know. Don't put that on me.
right, but that's not healthy, baby.
It's not. I'm not saying it's healthy. I'm just saying like I don't have an expectation for like Christmas. Like when I was single, I never put up a tree. When I was single in my downstairs, you saw it, my downstairs house, I didn't even have furniture because I didn't want anybody to, when guests came over, I didn't want them to get comfortable.
Have an expectation they could stay.
They could stay. So when people sat down, like they come over, they'd be like, you ain't got no furniture. Nope. That means you got to sit on the floor. And the floor was hard. The carpet was hard. And they left. But speaking of things that are hard, that's what she said. That ain't it. But Best Fiends. So I play Best Fiends all the time. Funny story. So our kids are having their award show. And inside the auditorium, I don't know what they do.
They turn the Wi-Fi off.
The Wi-Fi is gone. There is no Wi-Fi. We have no phone reception whatsoever. So I could do nothing on my phone except play Best Fiends. So I'm on level like 1500 at this point. And I love all the amazing characters. I love the games that you can play. I love the fact, y'all know, I love the keys, love to like store up all my keys and get all these amazing prizes. I love the fact also that the game is brand new every time I play it. So it's something that's exciting and it also stimulates my mind. So it keeps my mind going while I'm moving, you know?
Yeah.
And I can kind of zone into that and kind of zone everything else out. I love it.
Yeah, he was definitely playing during the award ceremony.
I was playing during the award ceremony. The principal was very long-winded.
No, you've earned your fun time. Go to the App Store or Google Play to download Best Fiends for free. Now, plus earn even more with $5 worth in-game rewards when you reach level 5. That's friends without the R, Best Fiends.
Yeah, so it's very easy. Just go to the App Store, go to your Google Play Store, and just download Best Fiends and see exactly what I'm talking about. So next time you get on the airplane, you're like, I ain't paying all this money for this Wi-Fi. Just play Best Fiends the whole time. You're going to enjoy yourself and thank me later. Just send me a DM. Be like, hey, bro, thank you for Best Fiends. I'd be like, hey, that's what I do, pimp.
You're welcome.
But yeah, so I don't have an expectation of holidays.
I know. But my expectation.
Or birthdays.
So for me, it's all a big deal. Like my mom made every holiday a big deal.
I know.
So when I got married and you didn't make things a big deal, I would get frustrated with you because I had an expectation like that for Mother's Day that you were going to go all out. You know what I mean? For my birthday, you're going to go all out and you're going to plan it and you're going to just make it this big deal because that's what my mom did. And the crazy thing is like, I do that with our kids now, don't I?
Yeah, a little bit.
Everything, every holiday is an experience. I want to be an experience. They're going to have the most amazing memories when they get older of every holiday. And they're going to celebrate every one down to Valentine's Day, getting each other chocolate and, you know, just making each other their Valentines and just making everything this big experience.
Yeah. And that's why I think it's really good and really healthy in relationships to have somebody who is the opposite of who you are.
Yeah.
Because I'm glad you're like that. Because if I was a single parent, they really wouldn't, they would have memories, but their memory would be like, but they're like, hey, did y'all put up a tree? And it's like, my dad don't put up a tree. Yeah. And it's like, why are you guys, is it like a religious thing? Nope. He just don't want to.
Yeah.
Because you got to take it down. Like what's the use of putting the thing up? You got to take the stupid thing down or putting up lights. They got to go. I'm not doing that.
But I had to adjust my expectations though, in general, because I have a fantasy.
I think we should talk about that. Talk about that.
I had a fantasy mindset of how I thought you would be about every single holiday, and don't get me wrong, y'all. It's not like he doesn't. Like he did 14 days of Christmas.
I did 12 days.
12 days of Christmas. What was that? Like
that was
2 years ago. And it was so sweet. I got a new present every single day. Yeah. It was the
Leading
sweetest.
Up to Christmas.
It was amazing. So you do really sweet things for me. But I had to adjust my expectations. And I feel like, again, unmet expectations breed frustration. So if every time you go to the grocery store and I'm like, he gonna get all that meat, but he can't bring me no flowers, he walked right by them flowers again.
Bought your mushrooms that I actually thought were better than buying the flowers because you can eat the mushrooms.
So my perspective is different.
That is completely fine. I get it.
Right. It's
but
different.
Tell me your perspective.
So my perspective is like, and I love this about you, you always get my favorite mushrooms. I don't even have to ask you. You go and get my favorite stuff. And that's almost like getting flowers, right? But to me, flowers are just saying, I love you. I thought about you. And they're so pretty. And you can just sit there. And every time I walk by them, I can think like feel good emotions, oxytocin is being released every time I look at those flowers. Cause I'm like, oh my gosh, he thought of me. He loves me. This is so great. Even though I know you love me, right? It's just like, it's a representation. So some of the flowers you've given me, I still have the petals and it's been like 5 years.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like I care about that stuff. I know. And it's funny because again, I had to adjust my expectations because what happens is if you think that, I mentioned it now and then say it doesn't happen, right? Now I've grown to the point where I don't even get frustrated. If you do surprise me with flowers, oh, that's great. That's awesome. And what another thing I focused on doing is instead of focusing on my expectations, I try to be thankful for who you are and who God made you to be. Right. So what I do in my head is when I get triggered and I say, this is just an example, y'all. He doesn't give me flowers. Right. Then you begin to tell yourself this lie in your head that says he doesn't love me. He doesn't care about me. And then third, I begin to start reacting. I have an attitude. I get mad at you. I'm like, whatever. I'm walking around the house stomping and you like, what'd I do again? I didn't even do nothing. So I've had to capture those bad thoughts and say, okay, now I need to replace the lie with a truth. What's my new truth? My new truth is my husband absolutely loves me. He adores me. He's committed to me and our family. He cares for me. He's super protective. He's loving. He's an amazing man. He's an amazing leader. And what does God say about it? And so then I have to go through this thing in my head, this almost like a recording my thoughts and speaking back to the lie with the truth. And that's what helps me to be like, all right, Heather, you're being crazy right now. I'm going to need you to calm down.
Yeah. I think it's important that we really manage our expectations. You asked me a question earlier. You said, what is the expectation I have of my father? And honestly, I answered the question saying I don't have any expectations. I'm not a therapist. I'm not here to answer to say if this is right or wrong. That's why, our sponsor BetterHelp, you probably be better going somewhere and getting finality on this. But I love the saying, expect nothing, but appreciate everything. And for me, it helps me. For me, it puts me in a very healthy place because I don't have an expectation of him to be someone, but I do appreciate who he is. Yeah. I think the same thing, with you is like, I don't want to have an expectation for you to be this person who I want you to be, because I'm just like, I appreciate it if it happens. Like if you cook, I'm like, well, I appreciate it. Like, well, thank you. I
did something for you the other day. You had some food delivered and I put it on a plate and I walked it in there. You were playing a video game and you were like, oh my gosh. And I was like,
yeah, I just appreciate it.
I was like, he's so thankful for me just plating it. Because it just looked prettier than just handing you a bag.
And see, with me, I'd be like, just give me the bag. Because I'm probably leave it in the little thing it's in, because I'm probably not going to finish it. And if I put it on a plate, that means I'm going to have to put it back in the thing to put it back in the fridge.
But I want it to be an experience.
Yeah, I know. You be wanting to do everything.
I want everything to be an experience. Every day should be this amazing experience that you can just untie and unpackage and just enjoy.
And the thing that we struggled with in our marriage was that she wanted the experience for me and for the kids. And I would go to her and I would say, but I don't want that experience.
Yeah.
I don't want the experience that you want from me. Like, or you would say, or we would get finished doing something, on some excursion, somewhere. We gotta talk in the next thing about the excursions that we've gone and the expectation you have with them.
Yeah.
But just the excursions, it's like all these different things you want me to do. And you're like, well, how do you feel about it? I'm like,
are you so excited right now?
No, I'm not excited. I don't want to go watch whales. Or what the heck do I want to watch whales for?
Hold on. The last time you enjoyed that, didn't you?
No, I did not. That's why I laid down with the kids.
You didn't enjoy it?
Heather, I don't enjoy that stuff. Come on, babe.
Babe, but I got the bougiest boat.
It did not matter what the boat looked like. Whale watching is boring because as soon as it don't get exciting unless one of them hit the boat, and you don't want me to hit the boat. Like, I want some action. Like, show me a whale and a shark fighting. Like, show me the. Like,
all right, let's go snorkeling and see it.
I'm not gonna jump in their water. Are you serious? No, they live there. Do sharks come on land? Like, let's go see how they live. No, I'm not getting in their water. Ooh, look at him. He has teeth. Yeah, better to bite you with, fool.
Not every shark is aggressive.
It don't
unless
matter
you aggressive.
If you got this, is just like the same people be like, oh my, don't worry about my dog. My dog don't bite. If that little booger got teeth, he bite. No, I don't want to do that. Absolutely not. No, I don't want to go snorkeling. I don't want to go. No.
And I've adjusted my expectations. So what I do is I'll come up with maybe 3 or 4 things of research. I say, all right, babe, which one are you open to?
Yeah. And do all that research. And speaking of doing all that research, when you're all online, you're trying to figure out what you're going to cook for dinner, trying to figure out what you're going to have for the summer. And you know what? We don't feel like driving no more. And honestly, with gas prices, why you won't even go to the grocery store? So thank God that you have Thrive Market, that online shopping center, so you can go and get all of your fresh, sustainable items that you need. I love the fact that they source.
Yeah.
Listen, they source
We love
every
it.
product that they have. So you don't have to worry about going in there to seeing if it's going to be good for you, if it's not going to be good for you.
Yeah.
Our family has many different palates. As you know, I'm more
So
of a keto
many.
carnivore. My wife is vegan. Our kids are vegetarian. So we can go on there and I can click keto, and every item
Yeah.
they have in keto pops up. I don't have to go there reading the instructions, reading this. I just know if I was looking for ketchup, there's some ketchup for keto. If I was looking for some mustard, there's some mustard. So it's all right there, and it's where the entire family can get it. And it comes to you in this dope box, everything. It's just amazing.
Yes. Now, can your grocery store do all that? I don't think so.
No.
Yeah. Now, join Thrive Market today and get 40% off your first order, y'all. Come on, 40%. That's amazing. Especially with inflation and everything, y'all need to go ahead and grab this deal and a free gift worth over $50. That's THRIVE market.com/LWTL to get 40% off your first order and a free gift worth over $50. That's thrivemarket.com/LWTL, thrivemarket.com/LWTL. But yeah, so expectations. And I feel like the world is like, no, you shouldn't lower your expectations. You need to get what you deserve. You need to have what you want. And I feel like there's danger in that, babe, because I feel like people are throwing away relationships that can be worked through because they don't have an idea of who they think they want.
Yeah.
Right? Because online they're like, oh, I see a fantasy of this person or an idea of a person. So I feel like the grass is going to be greener over there. But I want you to know that wherever you go, you're going to have to adjust your expectations. It doesn't matter whether you're at work, whether you're at church, no matter where you are, you have to adjust your expectations.
Yeah.
I think going into us having a new church, we're planning a church here in LA. My expectations are totally different than they were when we first planted our church.
Absolutely.
I was so
Completely
green.
different.
I was so excited. Whatever. It's all good. Like if they want to come over, you can come over. I had no boundaries and nothing.
Yeah.
But I feel like now going into it, I feel like my perspective towards people, towards hurting people is just so different.
Yeah.
Like
A lot more empathy.
it's a lot more empathy. Like before it was just like, okay, you're the pastors, here's the people we have to help. It's like, no, we're in this together and we're all on this journey towards Jesus and it's going to be beautiful and it's going to be amazing. And we're not perfect and you're not perfect, but it's okay. God can use all of us and we're going to do some really amazing things.
Yeah. There's not like this
Separation.
that says, we're all the way up here and you're down here. It's like,
No.
it's just one big community and we're imperfect. And
Yeah.
if you came in here looking for perfect people, then you have the wrong expectation. So, I mean, even in all the videos and stuff that I'm making right now, even about the church, it's like, I'm tackling expectations. If you're coming
All day.
if you're coming to Sabbath LA because you have this expectation that people are just going to be nice all the time, or people are just always going to be loving and it's just going to be perfect people, then we're not your people. And that's okay.
Yeah.
One thing I love is, Baskin Robbins, they have what 32 different flavors or whatever it is. They have 30 all these different flavor, Ben & Jerry's, whatever it is, have these different flavors of ice cream. And what I love about that, I feel like church can kind of be like that sometimes, where it's like, hey, you're coming here, we have our own flavor, and this may not be the flavor you like. You may like
That's
mint chocolate
okay.
chip. We ain't really mint chocolate chip people.
I actually really love mint chocolate chip.
Well, I don't need ice cream. There
I'm
you go.
joking.
I'm more of a sorbet type person. So, but it's like that's who we are. But your expectation is, I came here to this church because I wanted to get this, or I wanted to get that, or I thought I was going to get this. And it's like, well, we don't have that. That expectation doesn't work here. So I think checking your expectations at the door is extremely important. And then being able to communicate, as a leader, being able to communicate, or as a spouse, be able to communicate, this is what I expect.
Yeah.
So we can be able to say, oh, that's what you expected. And then here's the thing. When somebody communicates what they expect, I think it's important for you to be honest and say, is that what you expect?
Yeah.
No. I had couples that would sit in my premarital class. They would have conversations on expectation. Because my biggest thing, they would have work in the classroom, and I would choose on somebody, and I would say, give me your expectation of what you expect for your future spouse to do when they get home. And I'll never forget this one couple, this girl, she started talking. She was going on about everything she expected. And he was just sitting there. He wasn't saying nothing. And I said, what'd you think? And he looked and he said, can't do this. And I was like, okay.
In front of everybody?
Yeah, in front of everybody. And I said, define this. And he was like, she never told me that before. And, my thing was, instead of, separating so quickly, let's talk out what those expectations are. Let's see what's reasonable. Let's see what can be worked on. Because this is an easy thing to be worked on. But they eventually broke up.
Wow.
Because,
well, thank God they broke up.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's fine. Yeah. But yet and still, she had an expectation in her head that he just said, I can't fulfill that.
Wow.
And when she was giving it, she talked quite a while. She thought about it. You could tell she played with Barbie dolls growing up, played in the kitchen, knew what she was doing.
That's Tay. Look at Tay right now.
She had it down to the T.
That's going to be Taylor.
And he was like, no, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, but you need to talk about your expectations to be honest about them.
No, that's real. It's funny. I was talking to Taylor and she was like, when I get married, my husband better give me a big ring. Because if he doesn't, I'm going to say no. I was like, hold on. And it's just her expectations. Like, even ask your kids, like, what are your expectations in this house? Yeah. Like, what are your expectations? I love that, babe. And like, even with us asking the children, like, I talked to Taylor about like expectations when she grows up, and she's just like, I'm going to cook for my husband. We're going to do this. I'm going to have a bakery. Like, she's got all these plans of what she's going to do. And she's like, I'm going to have 2 kids, and then you're going to be the nanny. She told me I was going to be the nanny. And then Logan chimes in, Mom's not a nanny. But it's fine. But it's crazy. I think having that open conversation with your children and asking them about their expectations will also help too. Yeah, I think it will. I think it really, really does. It really helps. And we should talk about that at the dinner table tonight. Yeah. Well, praise the Lord. Well, yeah, there we go. Reality check. Let's just look at how the day gonna go first. Oh, we have dinner plans. Yeah, we do have dinner plans. We're supposed to be downtown. We'll talk about it when we get home then. Kids get home. No. I'm about to go get my haircut. We got stuff to do. Anyway, y'all, we love y'all so much. Can I talk to the kids by myself, or do you want to be a part of the conversation? No, please, by all means, talk to them. Okay, I'm excited. Oh my gosh. All right, y'all, man. We love y'all so much. Thank y'all for always tuning in with us. Yeah. Make sure you subscribe, all that kind of stuff. We love y'all. Rate, comment, all that kind of stuff. We love y'all. God bless. Introduce us. We out.